Today we're here to talk about your speech. How to make your speech go from an opinion speech, where it's just a bunch of information you think, to a well-supported speech that can stand up to the facts, having good supporting material. Now, there are 3 types of supporting material that you can put in your speech that will really enhance your speech, help you build a speech that is firm and that can stand up to the facts, that is based on fact. So supporting material, there are 3 types: examples, statistics, and testimonies. Examples. This is going to be where you put an anecdote in there, where you have a story that is true that can help support your speech. Now you may be asking, can I use my own personal story if I have a story connected to my topic? And the answer is yes. When you use a personal story, that helps to make this relatable to the audience. That helps the audience to understand that you have experience with the topic. But an example, it's a story. It's something that can show this has happened before. Now there's brief examples. That's going to be a short little narrative that's going to help you. Maybe you put it at the beginning in your introduction to help get your audience's attention. Or maybe it helps to support one of your main points. Then there's an extended example, and this is going to be a longer narrative, something that goes a little bit longer. Perhaps it's a story that you've interwoven throughout your entire speech. And then there's hypothetical. This is where you build some hypothetical example, where you're having your audience imagine if this were the case. Imagine if this solution I've presented to you happened. This is what it hypothetically could look like. So it's not something that's happened, but it's a hypothetical to help you paint the picture. Statistics, numbers. Now let me tell you, I am someone who cannot hear a ton of numbers, but a certain amount of numbers will help. What numbers do, what statistics can do, is they help to quantify those examples or quantify your main points. When you can show us that there is a number associated with us, we can now imagine what that example looks like and how that might affect the world or this world that you're talking about. Quantifying your message of your speech. So for example, you could say, 3 out of 5 people will be affected by this topic. And suddenly your audience is thinking, well, 3 out of 5, there's this many people in here. That means this many would be hypothetically affected by it. See, you're quantifying something to make it relatable for your audience. Then there's testimonies. To be honest, I look at testimonies all the time. You may too. When I shop online, I will read a review before I buy something. That's someone's personal testimony with the topic. Perhaps you've done an interview or you have found a quote, a testimony from someone. Now there are 2 types of testimonies. There's peer testimony and there's expert testimony. Let's break down what that looks like because both are valid. An example, perhaps you're doing a speech on the common cold and you get expert opinion from a doctor who is the leading doctor on the common cold. That doctor is going to give you his expert, scientifically proven testimony. But you also could go for a peer testimony. And that could be, I have had the common cold before and I'm going to tell you what I experienced and how I got through it. The common cold. See, I may not have the backing, but I have experience in it. I may not be a doctor or an expert, but I can tell you from my experience, give you my testimony. That's just an easy way for us to think of it. Both are going to have experience in the topic. One just may be an expert in the topic. Supporting material. Now here's something you need to think about as you choose your supporting material. You want your material to do just that, support you. But choosing the wrong material can actually hinder your speech. See, your supporting material, it's outside sources. First, you do need to cite your outside sources. Without citing it, suddenly it's become plagiarism. And that's a huge hindrance. If you plagiarize, that's stealing someone else's information. So cite your material. According to, in the words of, according to this study. See, citing it even helps you as a speaker because your credibility and your research is shown during that statement. But see, you really need to pick well thought out material. You see, we all have these phones in front of us. We have computers. We have a world full of information. And some of that information is regulated and some of it is just out there. Anyone can post a video. Anyone can post their opinion. It's so easy to find information out there, but you want to find well thought out, well researched, actual credible information. So you need to think about these things. Where is my supporting material coming from? Where is it coming from? Is that site, if it's on the internet, a credible site? Will stating this website hinder my speech? So saying things like, according to Wikipedia, here's the deal, Wikipedia is not regulated. So a lot of information's out there and some of it may be true, but it's not 100%. It's not regulated. So you want to make sure that where it's coming from is credible. Who is it coming from? Is this person credible for this topic? Who is it coming from? And who is sponsoring this website? Is it a .org or a .gov or a .edu? According to Harvard study. That's pretty good. According to this government website, when I'm talking about that, that's good. You want to know who it's coming from, who is sponsoring this, where is it coming from? You have to think about these things. Because to just find information that's just out there easily to grab does not always mean it's true. You've got to check your material. All right? Make sure your supporting material is going to actually do that. Support your speech.